You know, I've always been pretty satisfied with my guitar skills. But if there's one thing my guitar playing is lacking, it's theory. I mean, I picked up guitar super quick. Within a year of playing guitar, I was shredding. Yet anytime I see this, I have a mini stroke. What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? And now I've written lots of solos without using theory. Whenever I write a solo, I just hear a solo in my head and then figure it out on guitar without ever thinking about theory. But part of me has always wanted to know what's the theory behind what I was playing. Like, what is the science behind my solos? And one time, one of my friends gave me a super legal bootleg of Frank Gambale's Guitar Lesson on Modes, and I was like, this is it. This is where I'm gonna finally learn guitar theory. So I popped in my super legal bootleg DVD, and let me tell you, Frank Gambale kicked off the awkwardness right away.
Oh.
Really, Frank? Pinball? I thought this was supposed to be a guitar lesson. I paid $0 for this.
Hi, I'm Frank Gambale.
And it turns out that was the least confusing part of this video.
In the key of C major, G is the 5th, and G is the Mixolydian scale in the key of C. So if we want C Mixolydian...
Now, either Frank Gambale is a terrible teacher, or I'm just way too ADHD, because I could not follow a word this guy was saying. I just found myself constantly distracted by his hair, which was really pissing me off for some reason. So all I ended up learning was how much I hated Frank Gambale's hair and how much I sucked at guitar after watching him play. Like, my guy, can you tone down the skill level a bit? The only notes I know are AD and HD, okay? So anyways, that was the last time I tried to learn theory, but that was years ago, and recently I started getting the itch to try to learn theory again. So I scoured the internet to try to find more guitar lesson videos to try to finally understand theory. And the first lesson I came across was Absolutely Understand Guitar by Scotty West.
Wow, we're into some awesome stuff today.
Wow, even he didn't believe that.
A major 7th, an inverted major 7th, is a minor 2nd.
Can you repeat that in English? Now, once again, this lesson reeked so hard of 90s cheese that I almost turned it off before it even started, but Scotty West had the sassiest look on his face when he first appeared that I couldn't turn him off. And for whatever reason, he gave me serious Electric Callboy vibes, and I kind of liked it, so I stuck around.
An interval added to its inverted self always equals 1 octave, or if you take an octave and subtract...
That stand looks handmade. Did Scotty make this? This is pretty good quality. Like, you can't just pick something like this up at Home Depot.
Over, after you do that subtraction, is what the inversion...
Why does Scotty only have black markers? Is this guy so boring he can't have any color in his life? Like, oh, I can't use a green marker. That would be way too vibrant for this content. Why is he sitting on a bucket? You're telling me Scotty can't even afford a chair? You could buy a stool at Walmart for like 12 bucks.
Can you tell me this? Here's a question for you. What is an inverted minor 6th?
My left nipple's inverted.
What?
Now listen, Scotty definitely knows his theory, and he does genuinely seem excited about what he's talking about, but the only thing I ended up learning from him was that guitarists are either one of 2 types of autistic. My type, and this type.
1, 2...
The type of guy who could tell you where on the harmonic minor scale he sits on the spectrum. But I guess if any of my friends out there really want to learn theory, this is probably the best video you're gonna find. It's very in-depth and relatively easy to understand compared to other lessons. But that's like saying I ate a raccoon turd that tasted slightly better than a squirrel turd. Even though it was fun watching Scotty mess up on guitar every time he picked one up.
Oops. 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 Oops.
Now, the next lesson I came across was by Alan Holdsworth, which I was really excited about. I always regarded Alan Holdsworth as being one of the best guitarists of all time. And well, let's just say I was disappointed very quickly. He literally starts off his lesson by saying he didn't want to do one.
Hello. I never really wanted to do a video.
Oh, well, I can leave if you don't want to do this. I mean, could you imagine buying this for 50 bucks and the first thing he says is, well, I don't even really want to be here. You'd be like, okay, well, why did you do it then? I just paid 50 bucks! Well, after the most awkward start, let me sum up the rest of Alan Holdsworth's guitar lesson. Literally, the first 24 minutes are just him wanking with his boring-ass band of Berkeley graduates. And then when the lesson finally starts, he just shows a diagram of some scale, and then moves on to the next one. Well, now I'm starting to not want to be here. Like, what am I looking at here, Al? Is this Braille? I'm not blind, Alan. Like, can you at least give me an example of what this scale sounds like? That was the worst collection of chords I've ever heard in my entire life. Honestly, I think I'm just not smart enough to grasp this level of theory. But then suddenly things just got really interesting when Alan goes on this whole tirade about how he doesn't even like guitar, literally.
I never really wanted to play the guitar. I don't really like the guitar for me. It wasn't the instrument that I think I would have chosen.
So, not only does Alan Holdsworth not like guitar, he also didn't want to do this video. I mean, what were the directors of this video thinking? Listen, Alan, we know you hate guitar and doing lessons. We were thinking you could do a guitar lesson. Combine two of the things you absolutely hate? Hello, I'm Alan. Welcome to my guitar tutorial. Don't want to be here. Let's get into scale 1, shall we? This is the Frickaladian scale. And if you'll notice, guitar sucks. I will now show a demonstration of this scale. I hate this. I'll tell you one thing I did learn through Alan Holdsworth's lesson, that I hate jazz fusion. It sounds like the band having an argument using their instruments. There is nothing harmonious about this. It is truly impressive how unenjoyable it is, and I've never been less inspired to play guitar.
Well, I hope it wasn't too much of a miserable experience.
Now, I have to end this with saying that Alan Holdsworth is a guitar legend, okay? Everything he was able to accomplish and his playing is just, no one can ever touch that. He's just way too freaking good. Next lesson I found was by Dave Navarro of Jane's Addiction, and his lesson was so bad that his singer violently attacked him. No, if I'm being honest, it was refreshing just to see a cool dude who can play guitar. He's not an incredible guitarist, he's just a great guitarist. And it was so refreshing. Even though at times I questioned his qualifications to even teach guitar, he didn't seem to know anything about it.
I was always confused. Is this the low E string? I don't know what that would be. Is that the second string? I don't know what strings these are. A C bar chord, right? Is that the C bar? I'm not like a technical guy, so you have to bear with me.
Like, who's the one giving a guitar lesson here? Could you imagine being a beginner guitarist, buying his lesson, and Dave Navarro was like, I think this is the, is this a, what is this, a guitar? Is this an E chord? And you're like, my guy, you're the one teaching, you tell me. Maybe if you spent less time getting your nipples pierced, you could learn more about guitar. Maybe you could sell your nipple rings to buy Scotty West a chair. I don't. My favorite part of Dave's lesson, though, bar none, is when he busts out a bottle of pills for treating STDs. Sexually transmitted disease. Basically saying if you're gonna be a guitarist, you're gonna have a lot of, mates. So not only does Dave know nothing about guitar, he's also a goddamn liar! Oh, thanks, Dave. I thought you were gonna teach guitar, not promote pills. How much is Big Pharma paying you? You know what? If anyone should be taking pills, Dave, it's your singer. Did you ever tell him to take pills? Can we just get back to the lesson? I usually will start by simply doing what I guess is somewhat of a scale. Yes, that would be the chromatic scale, Dave. What the hell note was that? I think this is some kind of scale? Okay, kids, today we're gonna learn about pills and how to play the minor pentatonic scale. Honestly, if I bought this DVD back in the day, I would be pissed off. It's not even really a lesson, it's more like an interview with an awkward flock of seagulls looking dude, and at the end of the video, Dave literally says instructional home videos are not the way to go.
Instructional home video is not the way to go.
Oh, well, thanks for letting us know in your home instructional video. Oh, you know what? Guitar lesson videos are not the way to go. You shouldn't have bought this. Although I will admit, it was cool to see the included performance with him and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So this was obviously recorded back when he was in the band. So that was pretty cool. But honestly, can we just go back to my favorite guitarist, Bucket Butt? Not to be confused with his brother Buckethead, who was actually the next guitar lesson I watched. Anyone in the guitar community knows what a super normal person Buckethead is. And I gotta admit, I was honestly surprised at how normal his lesson was.
There's lots of ways to get from the bottom to the top. It's kind of like digging a hole.
So let me sum up Buckethead's guitar lesson for you. It was just him showcasing different guitar riffs at full speed. And in between, instead of him explaining his guitar riff and how to play it, he puppeteers a severed head to say the most irrelevant ramblings of a psychopath that have nothing to do with guitar. So I can't really say I learned anything from Buckethead, but I just kind of left this lesson thinking, yeah, that was Buckethead all right. But I will say it was cool just to watch Buckethead play guitar. The guy is an absolute monster and so fascinating to watch play. Now the next lesson I found was a Marty Friedman guitar lesson, which had me super excited. Marty Friedman is one of my favorite guitarists, and let me tell ya, right from the start, he looked absolutely thrilled to be there.
So you take the first note of the chord or the root, and the third, the major or minor third, and the fifth. And say you're taking an A major chord for an example.
Like, I would say he has the personality of a doorknob, but a doorknob can actually make me laugh. Sometimes he'd look like he needed a 5-hour energy drink, and other times he looked like he just huffed shoe polish. But I never really lost focus because Marty played guitar a lot in this lesson, and his playing is just so fascinating to hear, even though his picking hand still gives me nightmares. Now, boring personality aside, Marty did have a clever way of explaining scale sounds through visual representation.
Kind of a Chinese sounding thing. And if you look at it closely, it's this figure. The only
Oh, thanks, Marty. Yeah, I would have never known what you meant by Chinese sounding if you didn't show me a Chinese person. Thanks for that.
Hi, I'm Marty Friedman. Here's a scale. Kind of an ugly scale, kind of fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down. But if you follow the root down to the 7th note of the E flat C.
Now, I think Marty Friedman's lesson is the first one that actually truly helped me in my playing.
Let's make some variations off that.
He went on about variations of scale patterns, which reminded me that I get a little too used to playing the same ascending licks over and over again.
You just got to make lots of variations.
He really talked about sneaking in some surprise notes here and there, almost as much as he snuck in random lip smacks every 5 seconds.
Okay.
All right, so listen, maybe most of these guys have the combined personality of a mop, but at least none of them are assholes.
Hi, my name is Yngve Malmsteen. Jay Malmsteen, by the way. Yeah.
Well, you know, let me just sum up what Malmsteen's guitar lesson is. It's him playing a collection of riffs fast, followed by him saying, I will now play this slow.
Here it is slow.
Followed by him proceeding to play it fast again. I'm just imagining anyone who bought this lesson trying to play along, and he's just like, here's the next riff. Now I'll play it slow. Like, who the f does he think is gonna follow along with this? You know, the whole reason for him doing this lesson was to show off. For sure. He doesn't play slow, he doesn't show you how to play the riffs, he doesn't teach you any theory, it's just him wanking. Let me sum up Malmsteen's entire lesson in 10 seconds.
Okay, pattern number 1, play this. Now I'll play it slow. Now you. Pattern 2, play this. Pattern 3.
Now, unfortunately, I think this marks the end of my theory journey. I think I've come to the realization that I don't need theory to do what I do. I think the main part is just being myself and being unique in how I incorporate my personality into my guitar playing. I think that's the most important part, and I think that's the biggest lesson you guys can take from this as well, rather than listening to Dave Navarro trying to sell you pills for your herpal nurples. I think I'm gonna go get my nipples pierced. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that.